presenters face to face.
Which radio station is this?
The students got a history lesson on the origin of radio and what it takes to become a radio journalist.
Radio is a very adaptive medium, and it keeps evolving with time from the time that it was invented. And in Kenya, radio keeps growing. At Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, it's equally growing with over 13 radio stations. And we would encourage our learners to consider taking a career in radio.
Teachers and students held the meet and greet session, saying it would influence career choice.
I want to say I've learned so much, and I'm going to put this into practice. In our journalism club, we have never been taught this. But today, to those who have not been here, and they're from the journalism club, from right away straight now, we are going to have a journalism club meeting. We discuss all this and how to put them into impact.
Najua kwamba teknolojia iko na sehemu yake ambayo ni nzuri na sehemu yake mbaya. Kwa hivyo wanafunzi hawa wakielimishwa kuhusu akili bandia kwa matumizi yake kikamilifu kwa njia inayofaa ambayo inaweza kuwasaidia katika elimu na masomo yao, si jambo mbaya.
World Radio Day will be marked on Friday, February 13th, 2026, and the national broadcaster has pulled all stops to make this year's celebration special. Achala Simon, Prime Edition, County.
Which radio station is this? Which day?
With KBC Channel 1, because we'll be bringing you what we have done, and especially tomorrow, which is the exact date World Radio Day. Elsewhere, detention of dead bodies, either in a hospital or mortuary in public healthcare facilities, will be criminalized if a bill before the National Assembly becomes law. The Health Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Kirinyaga Member of Parliament Njue Maina, also seeks to guarantee access to emergency treatment and healthcare services before patients are required to make upfront payments for anticipated medical costs. During the debate, MPs termed the bill as long overdue, citing numerous cases in which families have been unable to retrieve their bodies of their loved ones due to unpaid medical bills. The MPs say there is a legislative vacuum as the judiciary has already pronounced itself, declaring the detention of bodies unconstitutional and unlawful. This even as lawmakers call for increased budgetary allocation for the health sector, as well as improvements in service delivery in public hospitals.
To leave their kin, someone that they loved, someone they shared and spent time with in this life, rotting away in a mortuary facility.
With the emergency critical and chronic illness fund, all the other expenses have been paid. And even in other coffers, you are covering the last respects for that body.
The critical care fund, although has not been absolutely funded, we need about 150 billion. I think the last that was given was something like 10 billion. Now, if that is what is going to pay when you are being treated on an emergency basis and is not adequate, it will not work. So
moving on, Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport Davis Chirchir has reaffirmed the government's commitment to complementing all ongoing road projects across the country on schedule. During an inspection tour of the Taveta Njue Ilasit Road in Taveta County, Churchill assured contractors that payments have been settled to allow uninterrupted completion of projects. The road CS who toured sections of the Taveta Njue Ilasit Road, assessing progress and engaging contractors, on timelines and quality standards, said the national government is determined to ensure infrastructure projects are completed within the stipulated time and boost connectivity and economic growth.
Tuko na hakika kwamba kwa sasa kitambo ya mvua kufika, kazi Kenya mzima itaendelea nzuri. Kwa sasa tumelipa contractors wote Kenya mzima, hakuna contractor hata moja mwenye tuko na deni. Na hivyo hii wiki ijayo tumeita contractors wote tuwashauri, tusikizane vile kazi itaendelea. Na vile mnavyoona hii barabara ya Njukini, ndipo kazi Kenya mzima inaendelea.
Tukiona mawaziri wanakuja ground hivi mara kwa mara, sisi kama viongozi na hata wananchi wanafurahi kwa sababu wana supervise ile kazi ambazo ilianzishwa, na kwa hivyo kazi inasonga kwa uzuri zaidi.
If anyone is in doubt that this government is working, akuje Taveta aone vile kazi inafanywa. Barabara ya kutoka Taveta kwenda Njukini, barabara ya kutoka Sis kwenda Lake Jipe, barabara ya kutoka Taveta kwenda Eldoro, barabara ya Mtomwagodi, and now we have 2 new roads, that is Voi Sagala and Maungu Kasirau.
Another news, a 70-year-old man has died after sustaining injuries following a scuffle linked to sand harvesting at Njue River in Mwingi, Central Kitui County. The deceased, Joseph Mwendwa, was allegedly hacked to death during a confrontation with a group of sand loaders. His family accuses the police of alleged laxity in their response and is now calling on the government to ensure justice is served.
Kwa moyo wangu niko na huzuni sana, hata najikaza kuongea tu, ni vile siwezi nitakosa kuongea kwa ajili ya babangu.
Tumepoteza mkubwa wetu ambaye alikuwa tunamtengemea sana. Baba yetu alituacha kitambo. So sisi tulikuwa tunaomba serikali yetu ya Kitui County kupitia kwa seneta wetu Kio watusaidie ndio tuone kama haki itapatikana kwa wale walio ndugu yetu.
Na mimi nasema huyo mzee kabisa ni shujaa wangu. Wale ambao wamepata majeraha naambie pole na niwatakie quick recovery. Pia na nyinyi pia mjue nyinyi ni mashujaa wangu.
To Laikipia now, residents of Siberia village in the county have taken to the streets to protest the alleged grabbing of a piece of land by private individuals. Locals claim the land was intended for construction of a nursery school, a community hall and a playground for their children, and efforts to defend the land have led to arrest by police.
Jana tumelala barabara, juzi tumelala barabara. Jana kuna watu walikuwa wameshika sema ndio hii kijiji juu ya hii kiwanja. Watoto hawana mahali ya kucheza, hatuna nasari ya watoto, hatuna mahali ya kuchaguana. Tunaomba serikali kuu na serikali ya kaunti wakuja watusaidie ili kiwanja irudie wananchi na sisi tutakuwa na amani.
Wale wanataka ni wale wako wanajisafanya hawa ni wakubwa. Na sasa ndio maana tumefungua project ya kujenga choo na hata tutafungua project ya kujenga hall, na hapa tunaamini ya kwamba ni sisi tutachaguania.
Hii waja ni waja ya umma na ni mali ya umma, na sisi hatutakubali mali ya umma iibiwe.
Mining companies will now be required to rehabilitate their mining sites before exiting operations following renewed calls for strict environmental compliance. National Environmental Management Authority NEMA, while in Kwale County during a mine closure experts forum, commended Austrian mining company Base Titanium Kenya for maintaining international standards in its rehabilitation programs in Kwale County. Regional NEMA officer Isaiah Chengo says that the standards set by Base Titanium, which officially ended its operations in December of 2024, will serve as a benchmark for other mining companies planning to operate in the country.
And that's why in the morning I said that I want to commend Base for setting a good example, so that any other company that will come to mine in Kenya, they need to follow that example. So they have set a precedence that will be followed by all of us. So, and that is what we call sustainability. As you harvest, rehabilitate. That is the example or model that we want to adopt as a country. That even as the investors come to exploit our natural resources, when they do their work plans and budgets, they need to be setting aside a certain percent for environmental management.
To health now, where 24 women battling serious gynecological cancers have received a new lease of life after undergoing free surgeries during a 2-day medical camp in Malindi, Kilifi County. The life-changing procedures were carried out at Star Specialist Hospital under the Gynecology Mashinani program, an outreach initiative bringing specialized cancer care closer to communities. A team of 14 medical experts, including consultant obstetricians, gynecologists, and laparoscopic surgeons, conducted the complex surgeries, most involving advanced cervical and vaginal cancers. Star Specialist Hospital Director Dr. Neurin Mohideen says the surgeries, which would ordinarily cost between 250,000 to 600,000 shillings, were offered free of charge, with most expenses covered by the Social Health Insurance Fund, SHIF.
Nilianza kuwa na shida ya tumbo kama bado nimekuwa teenager, na hii shida ilikaa ikapasist, nilikuwa naenda hospitali, naenda naangaliwa, napigwa picha, lakini hawakujua shida ni nini. Venye nilifanywa hiyo nini jana, hata saizi na feel better.
Since 2017 nilikuwa nikipata miscarriage. In 1 year I got 3 miscarriage.
Jana alhamdulillah nikafanyiwa, na Mungu amependa nikafanyiwa wa kwanza. Mimi ndo nilikuwa wa kwanza kufanyiwa. Alhamdulillah ikawa successful.
We are planning next visit in Lamu and then again in Malindi. So it will be happening almost on quarterly basis. So with the current organization, we are planning to do every 2 to 3 months, we're going to do a camp. Sorry? Good.
Moving on, cane farmers in Awendo, Migori County, have threatened to block operations at the Sony Sugar Company, lamenting unsettled arrears amounting to over 180 million shillings. The farmers claim the management of Sony Sugar under Busia Sugar Company has not shown full commitment in addressing their demands.
We are thankful
low
the
voltage
regulation has been in place, but what happened with the directors which were supposed to be elected? What happened? Why Sony has not been paid, but Chemelil, Nzoe, and the rest has been paid? This is what we are asking. This one we include our elected leaders like MPs, like senators, and so on.
Payment has not been made to the farmers for the cane they delivered in 2025 when the company was still under government. But now that it has been changed, there's a change of our ownership. The payment is supposed to be done by the government and it is still outstanding. We owe, the government owes the farmer 185 million that is still outstanding and paid to the farmers.
To county number 14 now, where the county government of Embu has embarked on an urban roads upgrading program to bitumen standards for 150 million shillings. The county executive committee member in charge of roads and transport and public works, Francis Njue, said the upgraded roads will offer smoother, safer and more reliable travel for commuters, residents and traders. Speaking while handing over the sites to respective contractors on Wednesday, Njue says that roads are vital for sustainable economic growth across the county. Some of the earmarked roads include 3 feeder roads in Embu town.
Really an average of 6 months. That's what we have agreed with the contractors. And the other area is that we are doing 5 loans that we are doing within this upgrading to a tarmac road.
Jambo la kwanza ni kushukuru kwamba tumeweza kubaliana na kushirikiana na ofisi ya gavana kwamba barabara hizi ziwe ndio kipaumbele katika Embu County katika kuwekwa lami.
Now this may give us an impetus to bring in more students into the school purely because of the infrastructure function coming in.
From Embu to Busia, where the Busia County Referral Hospital is facing serious challenges related to infrastructure and patient care, prompting calls for urgent intervention from both county and national leadership. The hospital's medical superintendent, Dr. Emma Namulala, has admitted that the facility is struggling with major infrastructure and service delivery gaps. During a performance assessment visit to the hospital, Senator Okia Omtata expressed concern over what he described as poor services to patients, blaming the situation on inadequate and outstretched infrastructure.
Busia County Referral Hospital continues to face serious infrastructure and capacity challenges that are affecting healthcare provision. During a visit to the hospital, Busia Senator Okia Omtata pledged to work with the national government and seek support from development partners and donors in a bid to improve conditions at the facility.
Uweze kuzunguka kama kutafuta mfadhili ama wafadhili ama kutafuta serikali kuu, uweze kuona kwamba hii hospitali ina kuwa na uwezo wa kuhudumia wananchi. Na hiyo ndio pale watu wanafikiri utakiwa mgonjwa anafikiria hapa kwanza.
Hospital administrators say the challenges are affecting key departments, leading to delays, congestion and strain on available resources.
Tunatumaini kwamba kwa sababu amekuja na yeye ni senator wetu, tunajua kwamba hali yetu kama hospitali ya Busia County Referral Hospital inaenda improve.
Meanwhile, at least 114 wheelchairs have been distributed to children with disabilities in parts of Homa Bay County over the past 2 years, improving mobility and access to education for vulnerable learners.
They were crawling on the ground, exposing them to different things. Most of them have got bruises on their knees, and the teachers are also having a challenge moving them, lifting them from one place to another in the classroom, from the seat, out of seat, for toileting. So at least today even the teachers are relieved.
Caroline Kisuge, the director of the Jonathan Rays of Hope that cares for autistic children, says efforts are underway to mobilize additional resources to support children who missed out on the exercise. Mariambo reporting for the Lunchtime News.
And families of 2 children from Seikuru Secondary School who drowned at River Tana during a swimming lesson are calling for immediate investigations to unravel what transpired before the tragedy. In a separate incident near the same river, an employee of Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital was found murdered. Andrew Njagi's family and colleagues are now demanding justice.
The families of the grade 10 and Form 3 learners at Seikuru Secondary School in Mwingi accused the school administration of treating the matter lightly, despite the tragic loss of their kin. The school insists that the learners had visited a farm near the river to learn and not a swimming lesson as alleged.
Shule mwalimu anakataa kuongea penye alienda na watoto. Watoto wengine wanasemanga walienda naye na walimwacha kwa nini? Kwa mto.
Shule elezea ukweli ile watoto wetu walipata kuingia kwa maji na hasa walikuwa wameenda kufanya kazi gani na hatukuwa tumefahamishwa.
After sasa tulitoka kwa mto. Principal alienda akatubaia biscuit na maziwa ndio tunyamazie hiyo story. Alafu akasema atatulipia fisi ya tamwani yote.
Seikuru OCPD Joachim Mecha is assuring the bereaved families that swift investigations will be undertaken and what transpired and ask for justice to take its course.
Such scenario could have been avoided if extra care was there to reduce the energy. They have a lot of energy. They want to explore. Sometimes they explore innocently without knowing the dangers which they will put themselves into.
This even as families and colleagues of murdered Kenyatta University Referral Hospital employee Andrew Njue, whose body was found dumped near River Tana, called for justice.
I'm just seeking for justice for my husband. I'm also worried. He was a breadwinner. I don't know what to do.
Andrew will be remembered for his warmth, humility and kindness.
Njue, who was the Deputy Catering Services Manager at the hospital, had gone missing for 5 days before he was found brutally murdered and the body dumped near the river. Police have been urged to accelerate investigations to bring justice for the late Andrew, who leaves behind a wife and 4 children. Yusuf reporting for Lunchtime News.
And families in Navaholo, Kakamega County have received maize seeds courtesy of the Stanley Ochango Foundation to boost food production among local households. Speaking during the distribution exercise, Emmanuel Wanjala urged beneficiaries not to sell the seeds but instead plant them to enhance food security in the sub-county. He also noted that the high cost of seeds is a major challenge, especially in the current harsh economic situation.
Tunaomba kwamba wajue kwamba mwananchi wa chini vyenye mapato yetu ni chini, wakumbuke kwamba sisi pia afaa watuangalie na washughulikie.
Changamoto ni kwamba tumechelewa hapa, hata nyinyi mmeona. Kwa sababu gani? Kufikisha bidhaa zetu mahali ambapo inafaa tufike kwa wakati. Tumekuwa na changamoto. Na hata hawa wakulima wana changamoto, maana mwanzo hawajui mbegu watatoa wapi. Jambo la pili, barabara wanapita namna gani. Hapa imebidi tubambane kabisa ili kwamba tufike huku mashinani, ili kwamba tufikie watu kwa wakati.
Very well, at about 24 minutes past the top of the hour, we are due for a fast break. But when we come back, we still have more news, especially in business, and also the latest in the EPL matches played last night, with others expected tonight. That and much, much more after this break.
Kila Jumamosi saa 1 jioni kuna sauti mbili zinazotawala anga ya habari. Dada wawili pacha, magwiji wa ulingo wa habari.
Karibu sana katika dira ya magwiji.
Magwiji kwa upekee wa sauti, mtindo na maarifa.
Katika enzi ya sasa iliyosheheni mabadiliko, tuko ange kukuletea taarifa, fafanuzi kutoka kila pembe ya dunia.
Jamila na Wanjiru wanakupeleka kwenye safari ya taarifa, uchambuzi na uhodari wa matukio yanayotikisa dunia.
Tunajizatiti kukupa taarifa sahihi na kwa wakati.
Habari kwa jicho la kitaalam.
Tuna hamu na hamamu katika kuuliza maswali stahiki yenye kuwajibisha.
Na sauti ya uhalisia.
Tupe sikio na macho kwa taarifa za kina.
Dira ya magwiji, pacha wa habari, kila Jumamosi saa 1 jioni hapa KBC Channel 1.
You finally came. Don't be like me. You're doing well here.
What? You still mad at me?
When I was young, my temper was worse than any you've ever seen. I'd rather get roughed up than let someone talk down to me.
Can control my emotions. I once truly did like you, and now I truly dislike you. Don't be so pompous. You really do mean nothing to me at all.
Leo ni wewe ndio utajitetea ama bado kuna ule
woza kama kawa. Ako heri atakuja tu. Niko na wakili.
Wewe si mkoti.
Sorry. Pow. Is he your boyfriend?
No.
Thank you very much. Why are you there?
Where?
To that scene when that scene was going on. Unaongeza nini? Kwa hivyo hujamaliza masomo? Masomo si mimi nilimaliza, ndio nafanya kazi kama library. Just agree with me, please. Hujamaliza. Are we together?
We are not together.
We are together. Don't usipishane na mimi. Are we together? Ulipeana kwa nini ulimpatia? Nakwambia. Yeye ndiye alinipatia. Kwa nini? Shut up now. I'm coming. Why did you choose that guy instead of choosing me?
Welcome back to Lunchtime News. Now, from a bold idea in Trans Nzoia County to a growing continental platform for African cinema, Today on Cinemas and Theatre, our focus is on the Kitale Film Week Festival, founded by Peter Bwire. The festival that will be happening from the 22nd of February to the 1st of March this year is steadily redefining how and where Kenyan audiences experience film. Take a look.
And I hope again to see you guys soon, maybe in another forum.
Founded in 2022, Kitale Film Week is heading into its 4th edition in 2026. What began as a Kenya-Uganda film exchange has since expanded, now welcoming submissions from filmmakers across Africa.
A big part of a film is the person who made that film. So we thought about an event that could bring those audiences closer to the filmmakers, discover films, connect with each other as audiences, and filmmakers also connecting with people who are ahead of them, learn new things.
The 8-day festival features opening and closing gala nights, special screenings in between, and professional workshops led by industry experts. It also includes school outreach programs where organizers visit learning institutions to screen films and introduce students to filmmaking as a potential career path.
Since we began, we have cultivated an interest for African films to everyone who has come to that festival and to everyone who has seen Kitale Film Week growing.
Comparing the inaugural event to the festival today, Bwire says consistency has built credibility. From a little-known initiative in its first year, Kitale Film Week has grown into a recognized platform where filmmakers premiere their work and in some cases go on to tour internationally with films first screened in Kitale. He is now calling for more film festivals across different regions of the country, saying cinema culture should not be concentrated in Nairobi alone.
We are connecting communities and we are connecting people, and we are connecting stories from generation to generation. And I don't think it is fair for that infrastructure to only be in big cities. We believe that by taking film to the small towns, to the small villages, we are helping people to see themselves and to see their challenges and to talk about them.
Among the films expected to feature are The Inside Job,
They are here for the party.
Yes, boss.
directed by Tosh Gitonga and currently streaming on Netflix, and The Widow Champion by Zipi Kimundu, which tells the story of a widow championing the rights of women in her village. This year's edition will also honor the late Charles Bukeko, popularly known as Papa Shirandula, for his contribution to raising standards in Kenya's film and television industry.
A lot of people who have become good actors, prominent personalities in the TV and film industry, and even theater, have worked with him or under him.
As the festival heads into its 4th edition, it stands as a reminder that bold ideas, even outside Nairobi, can grow into platforms that shape the future of African cinema. Jacqueline Masharia for Cinemas and Theatre.
Time to make sense of shillings and cents in business. Sugarcane production at the Bura irrigation scheme is set to expand to 50,000 acres following the completion of phase 2 of the gravity-fed water canal in new efforts to boost Kenya's domestic sugar output. Expansion of the project is expected to significantly increase the acreage under sugarcane and help attract more investors in the sugar subsector. Irrigation Cabinet Secretary Engineer Eric Muga, accompanied by other government officials, were on tour of the 4,000-acre Tana River sugar farm. It is here that he said expansion of the land under Sugarcane at the Bura irrigation scheme to 50,000 acres has seen 2 new investors brought on board due to a strong early performance and growing confidence in the viability of the project.
Tumetafuta wawekezaji ambao wataweka ekari 50,000 under sugar production na ekari zaidi ya 35,000 under rice production.
Hii mradi serikali imeweza kuweka 3.4 billion na hiyo imetuwezesha kupata 25,000 acres ambayo ndio tunaona production ikifanyika hapa. But tunahitaji an additional 2 billion ndiposa tuweze kufikisha hii mradi to the maximum potential, which is another additional 85,000 acres, making it a total of 110,000 acres.
Engineer Muga says sugarcane in Tana River matures in just 7 months as compared with up to 18 months in other regions due to favorable climate conditions and reliable irrigation.
The maturity, nilivyosema, is 10 months earlier. The sugar content, ule ukali wa sukari katika ile miwa, ni zaidi ya 14%, asilimia 14, more than 14%.
He says the shorter maturity period allows for faster turnover, improved farmer incomes and increased annual yields.
The production per acre kwa hii seed cane is about 50,000 ton. Normal production mahali popote Kenya is between 20 and 25,000.
He said the scheme is a key pillar in the government strategy to revitalize the sugar subsector and reduce Kenya's reliance on imports. Njue, Channel 1 Business. Bring millions of people in rural areas who still lack access to formal banking service with mobile fast identity verification tools, according to Identity UI. During the Africa Tech Summit in Nairobi, the global biometric authentication technology firm highlighted how digital identification is key in enhancing financial inclusion and helping firms stem cases of fraud.
There are a lot of people in the rural areas who need to be brought into the banking system, for instance, who need to be brought into the national ID system, for instance, but because they can't come to the metropolitan areas, we have to go to them in the rural areas. But going there now carrying big bulky hardware devices and all that has been a pain in the African continent. So with this new technology that we're bringing, everything can be done on the phone. Challenge, that's why we don't save any of the data at all. You understand, it's based on the phone, so the government will have it. You understand, we have no access to it, so all the data privacy policies are in place. So you're protected. So with this, it's on your phone, that's yours. When you get to the server, you upload, it's in your database. And you can decide what you do with that. So that's how we make sure.
We are bringing them digital identity in terms of ensuring that they can verify the people that they are claiming to be their customers, and also minimize the cases of fraud. We are the biggest country in terms of mobile money transactions, and also bank to mobile money, one of the leading countries in terms of transactions. And it is critical that they have credible information in terms of the people they call their customers.
Stima Deposit Taking Savings and Credit Cooperative Society has diversified to insurance brokerage service as part of a revenue diversification strategy. Stima Sacco Chief Executive Officer Dr. Gamaliel Hassan says the new brokerage subsidiary would strengthen services for members by offering wider market choice, claim support, and risk advisory without exposing the Sacco to the capital demands of underwriting.
We came to a quick realization that there was an opportunity somewhere that we were missing. Because as you're aware, the agents who get businesses from various financial institutions, they do get a payout. And we could quickly see that surely there's an opportunity for our members. And we saw this as a very good opportunity to increase our non-funded income.
The key things that possibly is very critical for us, and it answers to the fact that there's only 2.4% uptake in terms of penetration, is for so long, insurance industry has had a lot of distrust from the general populace. And that is actually why you find that penetration is very low.
From insurance to farming, where farmers are increasingly embracing modern technology to boost productivity, fueling an increase in demand for agricultural machinery nationwide. Speaking in Mombasa, CFAO Kenya Managing Director Akira Wada said the shift towards mechanized farming is driving higher uptake of tractors and equipment as growers seek to raise yields and cut costs.
Kenya is one of the leading countries for the agri-mechanization in Sub-Saharan Africa, so that Kenya can really be the spearhead of the modernization of agriculture in the African continent.
The location of Kenya is not, is a good ground for people to exchange with other distributors, so to share the best practices when it comes to food security, but not only, also to enhance the mechanization level in Africa, because the perception is still there. Mechanization is equal to destruction of jobs, which is not the case.
Still on agriculture, the Agriculture Finance Corporation AFC is tapping the network of the cooperative movement and microfinance institutions to increase lending to small-scale farmers. Agriculture Finance Corporation Chief Strategist and Business Development Officer Tom Akeno says the new approach seeks to widen the lender's customer base and de-risk lending, riding on the credit profile of borrowers held by Saccos and microfinance institutions.
We are lending to Saccos and microfinance institutions who end up deploying these funds to the members without necessarily asking them for collateral, and also to ensure that we have loans that go with the production cycle, for instance, and then where maybe there are challenges of lack of collateral, we are coming up with some models whereby we can have these dealt with, especially the wholesale lending model.
Further afield, the U.S. House of Representatives has voted to rescind U.S. President Donald Trump tariffs on Canadian goods in a 219 to 211 vote. 6 Republican lawmakers joined Democrats to back a resolution that seeks to end the tariffs Trump imposed on Canada last year. Details of this story and others in our International Business Roundup.
It is largely symbolic, as it will need to be approved by the U.S. Senate and then approved by Trump, who is very unlikely to sign it into law. Since his re-election, Donald Trump has imposed a series of tariffs on Canada, recently threatening a 100% import tax in response to Canada's proposed trade deal with China. The vote came after U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson, a Trump ally in Congress, unsuccessfully tried to block the discussion on the chamber's floor by lawmakers on Trump's tariffs. Trump's tariffs are also facing legal scrutiny, as the U.S. Supreme Court is set to rule soon on a case questioning the president's legal authority to impose the levies. Elsewhere, Russia has attempted to fully block WhatsApp in the country, the company said, as the Kremlin continues to tighten restrictions on messaging apps. Meta-owned WhatsApp said the move aimed to push more than 100 million of its app users in Russia to a state-owned surveillance app. Russian internet regulator Roskomnadzor said earlier this week that it was further curbing access to messaging app Telegram, as well as citing lack of security. Telegram is highly popular in Russia and widely used by its forces in Ukraine. Finally, Unilever has warned that 2026 sales growth could come in at the bottom end of its forecast range after a slowdown in the US and Europe, even as emerging markets delivered a fourth quarter sales beat. After spinning off the Magnum ice cream company in December, CEO Fernando Fernandez is under pressure to show that Unilever's emphasis on personal care, beauty and well-being, which now account for more than half of turnover, is a winning strategy. The maker of Dove soaps and Hellmann's mayonnaise said it expects 2026 underlying sales growth at a lower end of its 4 to 6% multi-year guidance range due to softer market conditions.
Kenya is seeking a tourism partnership with Jamaica on sustainable tourism to cushion the industry from unexpected shocks, I beg your pardon. Tourism Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano says the 4th Global Tourism Resilience Day Conference and Expo to be held in Nairobi is expected to forge cross-sectorial partnerships aimed at future-proofing tourism against emerging threats such as climate change disruptions and geopolitical tensions.
Kenya will for the first time be hosting the Global Tourism Resilience Day Conference and Expo in Nairobi from the 16th to the 18th of February 2026, bringing global focus to tourism resilience, crisis management and long-term transformation.
COVID-19, nobody could predict. Tourism was the worst hit with lockdowns, with airports not working, with people not moving. It was a very humbling moment for tourism, and that's when domestic tourism came in very strong as an anchor, and countries realized that domestic tourism is a bedrock and a very good foundation for tourism.
CS Miano says Kenya will be leveraging the conference to build capacity in crisis management, including climate shocks, cyber attacks, misinformation, and systemic failures that pose direct implications for employment, livelihoods and foreign exchange.
Jamaica has really done well in being the champions of crisis management and resilience, and we look forward to the conversations that are being brought to Nairobi by the whole world, and Jamaica, represented by the minister, will bring for us all the lessons what they have done in terms of crisis management.
Edmund Bartlett, Jamaica's Minister of Tourism and founder and co-chair of the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center, will be leading the delegation with over 400 delegates expected to attend. Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
And in sports, Pesa has unveiled a 20 million Kenya shilling sponsorship package towards the 2026 Magical Kenya Open, reaffirming its commitment to the growth of sports and tourism in the country. The Magical Kenya Open remains one of the region's premier golfing events, attracting global attention and positioning Kenya as a key destination on the international golfing calendar.
Speaking during the announcement, SportPesa Chief Executive Officer Captain Ronald Karori said the company's continued investment in sports reflects its brand purpose of recognizing the stories behind excellence both on and off the course.
This, I think, is our grand entry into golf, and it's something we'll sustain for the years to come. We've spent a lot of money in football, now in boxing, across other sports, and even supporting sports from the grassroots.
He added that the sponsorship is part of his long-standing commitment to supporting sports development, promoting tourism, and strengthening Kenya's global sporting brand.
We chose this particular golf season because the Kenya Open is now becoming a very big tournament worldwide. The exposure is great, and we get a lot of foreign golfers that come into the country. And it's also an opportunity to sell the country as a premier golf destination.
The prestigious tournament will tee off from February 19th to 21st at the current country club, bringing together 144 elite golfers from around the world.
Each value is co-created specifically with each category partner that we have, so that they all get value out of the relationship that we have.
The championship is expected to feature competitors from 25 countries, including 10 Kenyan professional and amateur golfers. Among the Kenyan professionals set to fly the Kenyan flag high are Joroge Kibugu, Dismas Indiza, and Greg Snow. They will compete against a strong international field, including the past 5 winners of the tournament.
Birdie coming at number 6. It didn't take him long to get his second.
Manchester City continued with their recent run of good form by beating visitors Fulham 3 goals to nil last night at the Etihad Stadium to keep their title hopes alive while exerting pressure on their London rivals Arsenal, who played today away from home against Brentford at GTEC Community Stadium.
And as far as Welbeck again, won't sit down for a shot. Comes back out to Kadioglu, goes for goal, oh, he's hit the bar! And Buendia helps it away.
And from England to Germany, where Harry Kane continued with his scoring streak against RB Leipzig to fire Bayern Munich into the German Cup semi-final for the first time in 6 years. Kane converted a penalty for his 6th goal in 4 cup games to take his tally to 39 in 34 matches before former Liverpool winger Luis Diaz scored their second for the 2-0 win.
3 games in the cup they've scored as well. Here's Nusa for David Raum, and Raum thwarted by Manuel Neuer. Here's Upamecano, and long for Stanisic. Oh, there's a slip from the goalkeeper, and Van der Vaart could be in trouble here. It's going to be a Bayern penalty. Harry Kane has missed in the cup before, not on this occasion. Faultless in the Bundesliga, faultless here tonight. 39 goals in 34 games in all competitions for Harry Kane now this season. And here's Luis Diaz, they're in again, they're going to score again. Luis Diaz, he's on fire. The long drought is over for Bayern, a Final Four place for the first time since 2020. Kane and Diaz yet again.
But well, many thanks indeed for joining us for this edition of KBC Lunchtime News. On behalf of everyone who's made this broadcast a success, thank you so much. My name is Njue. Lucy Maura has been my colleague on the sign language interpretation. And of course, you can check out our social media spaces for this news plus much more. Of course, more news at 7 and 9. But before I let you go, as the world comes together to celebrate World Radio Week, we take a moment to honor the voices that shaped generations, informed, educated, entertained, and inspired them long before the digital era. Today, we step into the living room of a man whose voice became a classroom, a concert hall, and a national archive. James Onyango Joel, a living legend of radio who during his time at the broadcasting house was known for his Zilizo Pendwa show and school's broadcasting program. Take a look and have a blessed afternoon.
Onyango Joel welcomes us not only into his living room, but also into his life and times on radio.
Radio children, can you answer that? Good. We can... you make me go back to what I did.
A journey that began way back in 1973. He's known for the once famous school's broadcast program before the digital era.
We synchronized the school's broadcasting timetable with the national timetable. And therefore, when it is civic, you sit in Nairobi and you say, teacher, I hope you have drawn the map of Africa on the board. That is how I was doing it. It was imaginative. We would record them earlier, and now when I have my script, the radio teacher does this, the radio children to answer this. Now, radio children, can you answer that? Good. We can, you make me go back to what I did.
Yes, do it. His love for the mic dates back to his days in high school.
I was the radio man. Kuchukua radio na kusikiza hizo schools broadcast. And I would tell you that is so-and-so's voice. I had not met them. That is Hassan Mazah's voice. I don't know who Hassan Mazah was.
But how did he finally succeed?
I wanted to become a lawyer because I saw Charles Njue was smart. But Chinua Achebe, through his writing, Things Fall Apart, and this was put at the back of Things Fall Apart, that he worked in Nigerian broadcasting.
She's called Pastor Lillian Nyongesa Nabuleje.
Dream of every woman. Yes. Pastor Richard Nyongesa. First, we've met as ministers. We were serving together. Then he was a married man. I was in another relationship. The wife then passed on.
I didn't have the sleep. I had a voice. You marry this lady or you die.
Oh, God. I opened up about my past just to scare him. I'm like, I'm barren, you know. But God, of a second chance, gave us the twins.
I don't regret getting Lillian. She has made me a man.
Ipa imani kila siku kuchapo.
Mambo ya kuungua na moshi ambapo mke tuko naye huyu. Nishakwambia wakati wowote, saa yoyote njoo, na kama una njaa mwambie Amina chochote unachotaka kupikia. Huyu ni kama bibi yako pia.
Unaweza kuwa wewe ni mzuri, uolewe na mwingine bongolala. Siwezi kutoka siku moja nikupeleke picnic. Uende ujionee, jionee hata tupitie mahali kama hizo zinauzwa.
Sasa leo wewe wananiambia twende mimi na wewe picnic. Wataka kunivunjia nyumba yangu masanduku. Taona ulimletea bibi hapa karibu.
Bibi nani?
Mimi je?
Yaani mimi sijui kumbe masanduku ashakuoa. Baba hawezi kutoka paka leo ni mchafue.
Hapana. Hapana.
Allah alimwamuru ajenge safina kubwa ambayo aliweza kuwaingiza binadamu na pia wanyama. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala aliteremsha mvua na mafuriko makubwa ambayo yaliweza kuwasomba wale wote waliokuwa hawajapanda kwenye jahazi lile.
Ni mambo gani ukiwa nayo kama mwanadamu utakuwa umepata faida kubwa hapa duniani na kesho akhera?
Na ikukataze maovu. Alhasru, jipambe na tabia njema, kusema ukweli, kuwa na rahma, uwe mtu wa kusamehe. Alhasru, mtu mwenye kutoa ile amana, kujipamba na tabia njema.
Masjid ni kitovu cha mshikamano, ni mahali ambapo familia nzima hukutana, vijana hujifunza stadi za maisha na watoto hukua wakilelewa katika misingi ya imani.
This is Health and Lifestyle Show. A warm welcome from wherever you are. My name is Maria Mbo. Social media handles at KBC Channel 1 is where you can interact with us. Neglected tropical diseases, or NTDs, affect more than 1 billion people worldwide, mostly in low-income communities, Kenya included. These diseases, like Kala-Azar, elephantiasis, trachoma, are often overlooked but can cause lifelong disability, prevent children from going to school, and limit adults' ability to work. Despite their impact, NTDs are preventable and treatable, and global efforts are underway to eliminate them for good. All that's coming up in the Health and Lifestyle Show. First, a look at what's coming up.
Alienda hivyo kutokana na tumbo, amekuja juu. Tumbo yake alikaa kama yule mtu kwa na mimba.
Quick action saves girls from a neglected tropical disease.
Globally, about 1.5 billion people are actually affected by NTDs.
Kenya makes progress in eliminating neglected tropical diseases, and on good practice, proper hygiene key to preventing NTDs. And to our first segment now. Silent yet deadly. Kala-Azar disease often goes unnoticed. Today, we take a closer look at what it is, how it spreads, and what can be done to stop it. Timely action can save lives. A grandmother watched helplessly, her grandchild struggling with an illness no one seemed to understand. What seemed like a small problem, swelling of the stomach, slowly affected school, play, and even confidence. In the following story, a grandmother shares the pain and fear of dealing with a neglected tropical disease, Kala-Azar. When Agnes Musana's granddaughter started showing signs of illness, she couldn't imagine how close she came to losing her.
Hii mgonjwa nilianza kujua wakati alianza kwenda shule. Huyu mtoto alikuwa grade 2. Na tuko mbali kidogo na shule. Alitembea mpaka akashindwa kutembea. Akikuja lunch hawezi kula, na akikula rice chakula kuna mafuta. Anakula mafuta, chakula kafu bila mafuta. Alienda hivyo kutokana na tumbo, amekuja juu. Tumbo yake alikaa kama yule mtu kwa na mimba.
On World Neglected Diseases Day, she joined hundreds of locals and health experts to share her journey. Kajiado, a semi-arid region, distance, poverty, and limited access to healthcare often turns common illnesses into life-threatening conditions. Many families do not recognize the illness. Some believe it is witchcraft. Others turn to dangerous traditional practices.
Wanaita ndanuni. Na ndanuni anasema mpaka anyoroshwa na mkono, wengine wanachoma na miba na moto, wengine wanakatakata hivyo. Lakini hii ugonjwa sikii.
She finally sought help at the Kajiado Referral Hospital. The diagnosis was Kala-Azar, a neglected tropical disease that kills silently if untreated.
Hii mtoto alikaa mpaka damu akaisha. Ndio alitusaidia mpaka tupate kwanza damu. Akawekwa damu, sasa akaanza sindano.
NTDs remain a major health problem. Community health promoters are vital in creating awareness.
In 4 counties where we work, just last year, we delivered, working with government and community health promoters, more than 6 million doses to 6 million people. And as a result of that, in those 4 counties, we saw the number of people with intestinal worms, because we test them, decline from 15% to 3%. That is declining from falling from 5 out of 30 people to only 1 out of 30 people. You have seen the community health promoters here. They are actually the ones who deliver all those drugs, except, because a lot of them are given by the mouth. It's an amazing job they do, that working with community health workers, supporting them and elevating their work, because they are the pathway to that elimination agenda.
Kenya has eliminated guinea worm disease and sleeping sickness. It is now on the verge of eliminating elephantiasis.
Right now, the country has stopped transmission. So there are various stages. First, you have to identify